Hello everyone, Maryann here, revealing light, tarot, astrology and spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Okay, so it's Monday morning here in Australia. It's a beautiful day, clear blue skies for a winter day anyway. Not so cold, which reminds me, I will turn off the heater. And yes, I know there is a heat wave in other parts of the world. If we've got time, we're going to read on that. But first up, yes, there's a lot to get to. First up, I want to take you back to a reading that I did. It was a chart I looked at, and I was looking at, I think it was Trump's transits. I think it was around about 2 months ago. If I can find it, I'll put the link in. But I know my viewers remember it because now they're starting to quote it in light of the Arizona delegates to the Republican National Convention gathered this month. I'm reading from the Washington Post. This month in a Phoenix suburb, showing up to get to know each other and learn about their duties. But they were there also as part of their presentation. Was a secret plan to throw the party's nomination of Donald Trump for president into chaos at the upcoming Republican National Convention on July the 15th. Now, in that reading that I did, I was looking at that chart. I actually, it could have even been the Republican National Convention's chart. And I said, I think that there's going to be chaos. And a lot of argy-bargy at that RNC. There could even be some sort of attack on Trump himself. So that I found was very, very interesting. We'll take a look at whether that's going to go any further, whether or not, the Trump campaign says they've dampened that rebellion down. But have they? Or is it going to come from another quarter? We'll look at the RNC convention. I don't know. I don't see this that he can't get the nomination, but maybe we should ask that question. We'll go there anyway. I also want to go to Louisiana. As you all know, the government there has passed a law that requires all public schools to display the 10 Commandments. Odd, but predictable. That, of course, will likely go to the Supreme Court. For those that don't know, a similar law was passed by Kentucky in 1980, and it was struck down by SCOTUS as going against the Establishment Clause in the US Constitution, which, of course, says that Congress can make no law in respect to the establishment of a religion. So we'll see. Obviously it's going to go to the Supreme Court. We'll see how the current Supreme Court, made up of fairly conservative judges in the majority, I'm going to say very conservative, or let's say to the right, conservative, particularly Judge Alito, Clarence Thomas. We'll see how they're going to rule. Likely this week, we might have a decision on whether or not the convicted felon and ex-president of the United States, current candidate Donald Trump, will have immunity for January 6 charges. I guess we're just going to say, will it go back to the Washington court to decide if it was an official act or not. Also, I just want to say that on June the 25th, the EU starts accession negotiations with Ukraine and Moldova to ascend to join the EU, the European Union. I'd like to see how that's going to go. It's interesting that all Putin has done in waging his war, in trying to conquer Ukraine, has driven Ukraine and other states closer and closer to the EU, and obviously the Scandinavian countries, joining NATO. So we'll see how, if we've got time, we'll see how that will go. All right, I'm using the Rider-Waite and the Astro Matrix Tarot. Let's get started with the RNC convention and these Arizona Republicans. They're tired of losing. They just don't want to lose anymore. They're tired of the grift. They're tired of funds going into Trump's legal expenses and personal expenses and whatever else. It's a big money-making machine for him, and candidates. Very little filtering through to the candidates. Trump is running politics like his own personal business. He's running the Republican Party and its fundraising draw like his own personal bank account and business. All right, and the Arizona Republicans, for a myriad of reasons, want to throw his nomination into chaos. Let's see if that's going to happen. So let's take us to the RNC convention. I will find that reading and link it below. The RNC convention, what's going to happen? That is the power of astrology, that it can indicate themes and energies. And that's what I see when I look at the chart. That's what I saw when I looked at the chart. Okay. The RNC convention. Will candidates rise up against? Will they throw Trump's candidacy into chaos? Will Trump get the Republican nomination officially at the upcoming RNC conference? Will Trump get the official candidacy? The RNC conference. Page of Swords, yeah, there's going to be detractors. There's going to be people that will speak out against his candidacy there. But because they're only pages, there's going to be some argy-bargy around money too. There is a growing discontent. It's not from never-Trumpers. It's actually from Republicans. It's not a happy camp. Let's just say it's not a happy camp. These could be a younger generation as well. Interesting. The Three of Wands, waiting for one ship to come in, standing on the shore, can also be foreign influence as well. Let's see if he's going to face pushback. Queen of Cups. Okay, so there's going to be fairly frank discussions about electoral chances, about the women vote or lack of the women vote, about the abortion, the overturning of women's reproductive rights, the overturning of Roe, the abortion issue. And crowning this reading is the King of Cups, which is my card for Biden. And, of course, the fact that Biden could win given all these issues. Lack of money, the women vote going against them, young people not turning out for them. It looks like these issues will be canvassed. In the immediate future, we get strength, so I don't see him not getting the nomination. The current issue is the Ace of Wands, planning, a new start, the seeds of a plan, surprises. There is some sort of planning of chaos going on. Hopes and fears, his apprentice, to throw it to someone else perhaps. Much will depend on his VP pick. Wow. There's skullduggery here for sure. Will he get the nomination? Of course he will. Control. But they're railing against that sort of control, and he's going to do it tough. Queen of Swords. Logic, women. We could see Nikki Haley being spoken about, her candidacy, and we get the money issue. Okay, so whatever's happening in the Republican Party, I'm going to mention the New York Times wrote a story. It's unbelievable, really. that Trump was ahead in the cash gain in campaign funds than Biden. And who was their source? It wasn't the FEC. It was Trump himself. That was their story, unsourced. It wasn't independently sourced, that information. What I can see here is money is very, very short, and this will be one of the topics of conversation, or one of the issues that Trump will have to deal with. He's not. He might, like a thug, get what he wants, but this is a house of cards that's ready to tumble, and there will be rebellion. There will be rebellion, and we get a lot of concern around Trump's the convictions, the court cases. And we get his ties with Russia as well coming in. Okay. So it's likely they will support him. Very concerned about the women issue, very concerned about the overturning of Roe and what that means in the election. But he has hope, so I think he's going to pull off that. But I think we're going to hear about a divided house at the RNC convention. I think there's going to be rebellion, and it's not going to be as easy as what he thinks to clinch that nomination. Okay, they're worried as well. They should be. All right, let's see, because I've never seen Trump winning the election. Now, he did say over the weekend, "I don't need your vote," and of course he's encouraging people to stand by, doing similar, talking about stop the steal, rigged election. Can Trump do the same? Can Trump try and steal the upcoming election? Can Trump and the Republicans, will they? Not can they, because they can try, can't they? Will they steal will Trump steal the upcoming 2024 election? Will Trump steal the upcoming US election? I think you could see an escalation in trying to purge voters off the rolls in some of those red states, more than what we're seeing now. We've got the Six of Swords moving out of troubled waters, and an inevitability that he will try, but not that it would be successful. There he is at the foundation of the reading. The money, the grifting, it's in the past. We get the Queen of Pentacles, stability, financial stability. Yeah, giving and receiving help, aiding and abetting. I'm not seeing the violent cards yet. The Three of Cups, circles of support, and then the planning. Yeah, they're already planning this. And I think I have already read on this to say that it is more around the governors choosing the election, whoever runs the election in the states. It's not the governor. I think it's is it the lieutenant governor? Anyway, secretary. Anyway, that person, they're already planning which electors they will choose, and how they're going to run the elections. And it won't be an alternative slate of electors this time. It will be in the actual way that they certify votes at the state level. That's how it's going to go. So that's what they're planning right now. That's why he's saying, "I don't need your vote." hopes and fears, abuse of power, and then we get the Ace of Cups. Absolutely, yes, he is going to try, but he's not going to succeed. Walking away from what no longer serves you, walking away from loss, and it's a huge ending for him. So they're already doing that at this time. It's quite sophisticated in what they're going to try and do. What I'm getting an inkling of is setting things in place to strengthen their arguments in the courts, that there were either rules that weren't followed, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to make it hard to run a fair election in the state in a very sophisticated way. Will it work? No, it won't. Okay. All right, so let's go to Louisiana. The 10 Commandments. Up to the Supreme Court again. Knocked down in 1980 when Kentucky tried it. Okay. Will the Supreme Court, because I don't even need to ask if it will go, it will go. There are other states, I think Utah, Texas and Oklahoma, wanting to do the same thing. Haven't passed laws yet. Watching Louisiana, what's happening with them. Okay, so Louisiana, will SCOTUS rule they can display the 10 Commandments in public schools and breach the Establishment Clause, separation of church and state? Let's have a look. Will SCOTUS rule will SCOTUS rule that Louisiana can display those 10 Commandments in public schools? Strength. And then we get the Six of Swords, again, moving away from those turbulent times. Page of Pentacles. Look, I did see that there would be justices that would support that, but I'm not convinced that the court would do that. And I keep getting a pullback to row. That's what I saw that made me so uncomfortable. The Queen of Cups in the past. So I know that those justices that voted like Alito to overturn Roe would support this. The Lovers card, the cult, the Republican, MAGA. The Page of Wands, it's definitely going up there. This is also a Trump thing. This is also part of the campaign. This is a Republican part of what they do to make people support them. We get the Devil card, toxicity. Yeah. I don't think it's going anywhere, quite frankly. 10 of Swords in the hopes and fears, and then we get no. It's like Plan A doesn't work. They're looking at Plan B. We get wishes and hopes, but we get clarity, the law, and we get the Magician, manifestation and justice. It is going to the Supreme Court, but I don't think it's getting through. Show me the Seven of Pentacles. I would say no. No, it's not. But we've got some wish fulfillment, the Magician. But we've got the law and justice here as well. The Constitution. Will it get through the Supreme Court? Not in its current form. We get the Knight of Cups. Oh, God. An abuse of power. We know some justices would actually pass this, but I don't see it passing We get the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords. We get the Justice card, overruling. But I'm going to say that it probably, can you believe it, is a decision that's closer than what it should be. So that's surprising. Well, it's not surprising, is it? All right, where to next? The immunity, Trump immunity. Let's take a look at Trump immunity. Whenever I read on this, I can't get a clear steer, which means that the decision will be so nuanced, or it actually does. What I think, well, there's that, but I think it's also they're fighting amongst themselves, and that's what I'm picking up. They can't agree, then that's why it's taken so long, apart from they should never have taken it in the first place. So, is it coming this week? I'll know. Is it coming this week? Is the immunity decision coming this week? Yeah, looks like it is. The past looks like it is. We got the Death card here. Ending. Something is ending. Okay. All right. So, yes, I think it is coming this week. Have they been fighting? Let's just do some rapid draws. Have the justices been fighting amongst themselves? Have the justices been fighting? And I hear Amy Coney Barrett's name. Yeah, she is fighting with Clarence Thomas. Okay, so have they been fighting amongst themselves? Okay, victory. Looks like the women might get their victory, is what I think. Okay, so look at these three cards that I pulled straight away. So we get the sabotage. Sabotage. This person takes the armor of these two. It's a classic abuse of power sabotage card. We get loss. 3 cups have been lost, 2 remaining, all is not lost, and then we get illusion, delusion, only choices matter, good or bad. Then we get the women surprising us. So, all right, let's see. Interesting dynamic on that court. Let's see. Okay. So, will they send it back to the lower court to see if these were official acts? They're criminal law charges, so will they send it back to the lower court to decide if these were official acts? That seemed to be what they were doing or trying to do. 10 of Pentacles, abuse of power, the money behind the court. 3. Ooh. These are terrible cards, I have to say. There's an abuse of power, there's big money at play. There's those who the whole justice doesn't work for us. Justice doesn't include us. Justice is blind. There's that kind of feeling, and there's aiding and abetting, giving help. And then we get the 3 of Wands. It's like those that are. I just want to put it plainly, to people like Thomas, it's like they're beholden to those that put them there, one way or another. Okay, so then we get the 3 cups have been lost, 2 remaining, and then the Sun and wish fulfillment. Okay, so now let's go to, will it go back to the court? Yes, it may do, but then of course we have the whole litigation of January 6th, so in that trial. So, all right, let's see, and that probably would take place before the election. So let's have a look. Will they grant Trump immunity? We'll go back to this vexed question. Will they grant him immunity for January 6 actions? That's the question. Will they grant Trump immunity for his January the 6th actions? Will they grant Trump immunity for his January the 6th actions? Crossroads, heavy decisions, 10 of Pentacles. This is legacies as well. Abuse of power is at the foundation of the reading. That could be what Trump did. The King of Wands is in the past. And we get these terrible cards again. Illusion, delusion. But we get the Empress card. Something coming to fruition in time. She is the goddess card. She does represent women. Page of Cups, something that will surprise us. And then we get deceit and lies. Not good cards. In the hopes and fears. Three. There's a lot of accent on threes. Building something, coming together, hopes and fears that they will bring down something that will stand the test. We get the Ace of Swords. We get the women here. Another Ace of Cups. And endings and new beginnings. A lot of clarity around the law. King and Queen. But these are yes cards. Will they grant him immunity? Oh my goodness me. Maybe it's the answer I don't want to give you. Okay, show me. Pausing something. Okay. The president has immunity for some acts, I guess, is where it might come out. Will it go back? As I thought, it might go back to the lower court to investigate, to litigate what was official and what was not. Is this where we're going to go? To go back to the lower court to litigate whether it was official or not. Oh, God. High Priestess, the Tower, and the Hanged Man. Yes, I think it. Even though they're terrible cards, it's like what has gone on in secret is enough to bring down this court. Like it's a crisis. Crisis of confidence, crisis of everything. Death and the Star, division and fighting. And then we get the women here and their expertise. We get the Six of Swords. So I'm just going to say that whatever this decision is, on the surface it looks like it gives immunity to Trump. But when we step back from it, yes, thank you. When we step back from it, it's like, no, it's very astute and clever the way that it's been done. And it's almost like the women saved the day. I have to put it like that. And the only logical conclusion I can come to somehow is that it will have to be litigated what was official and what was not. And that gives the trial before the election. And that brings the evidence out. And of course what he did, let me say it very clearly, was not an official presidential act. That's what I see. So when you get that, just the truth is coming out. I just want to say the truth will come out. All right. Let's go to... Where do I want to go to now? We've done Louisiana, the heat wave. I find it disheartening reading on climate change because I've done so many readings on climate change and it always comes back to the same thing, that moneyed interests overrule the interests of the people, this planet. All right, let's see. I guess the bottom line is, will these climate change, heat events, natural disasters, will they worsen? All right, will the heat waves in Saudi Arabia, over 1,000 people died on a pilgrimage, walking in a pilgrimage. Interestingly, the climate, the heat has accelerated more pronounced, more promptly in Saudi Arabia, which is, of course, a big fossil fuel seller. And over 1,000 people died in this particular pilgrimage march that they were doing in Saudi Arabia. In America, it's been, I think, day 7 of a heat wave along their east coast. Climate change. Will it grow hotter is the question I'm going to ask. Will temperatures continue to rise? Will temperatures continue to rise around the globe in relation to climate change? Will the sun get hotter? Will our earth get hotter? The High Priestess, interesting. The subconscious. Again, it's still up to us, but then we get the quickening, the Chariot. High Priestess, use your intuition. What is in the subconscious is coming forward to the conscious very, very quickly. You see the Chariot with the sun overhead. The Six of Pentacles, again, populations needing help, receiving help. I saw whole populations eventually being displaced. The Lovers card is in the past. Relationships, unity, coming together. We get the Page of Wands, literally juggling fire in the desert. The Page of Wands in the sky. Justice. You reap what you sow, basically. The Knight of Wands, these are all fiery cards. There is an acceleration. Oh, God. There absolutely is. That's in the present. These two cards are in the present. The King of Pentacles is in the hopes and fears, the greed. And then we get restriction, water restrictions, and strength. It's only going to get worse. And it's based on our choices. Look to the oceans. Look to the next generation. And we get the Ace of Wands. So it is as I see it all the time. Yes, it is going to get hotter in the present. We're not even talking about the future. Yes, it is going to get hotter in the future, but in the present, it's becoming increasingly difficult to manage these high temperatures. This gives us a glimpse, a warning, and I think it is beyond that warning now as well. We get the signifier cards, the High Priestess and the Chariot. You and I both know. Regardless of denial, you and I both know. Now underneath the pack, we get the Victory card and 3 cups lost and 1 remaining. All is not lost at this time, depending, and that's why it comes out the same all the time. Depending on the choices we make, will depend on how quickly we get to that tower moment, that moment that impacts the critical mass, if you like. All right, so I do want to see, perhaps I'll leave that for the end of the week. We'll look at Ukraine and the EU and go from there. And it's probably time, as I said last week, to look at another astrology chart as well. Okay, I will be back again soon. Bye for now.